name is Tarun Verma with Telfair Specialty Pharmacy, and I wanted to start this multi-episode series about how I actually created my pharmacy from scratch. First business ever. This is my first foray into a brick and mortar store, and I wanted to kind of document and go through all the different things that kind of led me to the point where I am, where I know we got empty shelves, but we're about to open here like next week. And it's just, I'm so excited, and I want to be able to kind of share all the things that I've learned during this process, because I've really learned how to become a proper businessman during this entire experience. I mean, things that I never thought about and I never knew about, I ended up mastering through this process. The first episode I really wanted to focus on was kind of like the why. With any businessman, you have to ask yourself, well, why are you going to do this? Why are you going to break off from the chains or from a big company and go solo? Riding solo? Like, why would you do that? And for me, the answer was I was working out the big chains in the pharmacies. So my background is I'm a pharmacist. And really I started noticing how redundant and how inefficient these big pharmacies are, and how much healthcare in general is, the care of the patient is lapsing. And that's where I really wanted to drive an impact towards. So I started researching it. I didn't really have anybody that I was really close to. I never worked in independent pharmacies at all. I just knew that it was a totally different beast from what I've been told. So I started researching it. I mean, from the moment that I kind of decided, hey, this is something I'm probably going to do, it took me years to get to the point where I am now, where I now have this whole thing built and I'm ready to go. Because I spent a lot of time analyzing, looking at the market. Is there a need for it? I don't want to sink if I do this. I really wanted to make sure that I was the most well-informed, well-equipped person I was going into this business venture. So the big thing was, okay, well, I want to drive healthcare my way. I want to be able to impact it my way. I want to be able to affect patient care the way that I think that patients should get it. So okay, there's a focus on service, and that's all good and well, but now it comes down to your products. Can you drive business to you? And what about your acquisition costs? Just like with any goods, like, for us in pharmacy, it's buying drugs and then selling them out. So first aspect to that was, do you have a good supplier? I did. I actually had, through a lot of good recommendations, I was able to get a great wholesaler on board who gave me really good pricing. And the second was driving business. Now this is something I'll make another video about in about 6 months, because I'm about to open up doors. I have strategies on how I'm going to market and advertise. Once I execute, I want to see how successful I was in that, and then I'll make a different video about that. So with that in check, that was it. Let's start. I had the first pieces laid out on how I wanted to do this. So the first was, I didn't want to build this thing from scratch, to be honest. This is the hardest route to go, and I didn't want to do it. I was like any other young person out there. I was like, I'd rather just go buy up a pharmacy and then I do what I want to do with it. I always had these great ideas on how I would drive business and the kind of different avenues of revenue I could get into. I never wanted to do this. So for like 2 years, on and off, I would find pharmacies, I would try to acquire them, and then for many reasons or another, it would all fall through, mainly because a lot of these pharmacies were doing some not so great things out there, and I didn't want to inherit that mess. And that was kind of across the board. I kind of saw it, or I didn't like the area it was in. So it finally came down to where I was wasting so much time, I was going, I just got to do this myself. So that's where we're getting into it right now. Is I started to I was like, let's just do it. Let's build this thing from scratch. Let me put it in the area where I want to put it, because that's literally going to be my place of work for the next X amount of years. I want to be in a place that is close by to home, right? That's your first thing, and then also in a really, really great and up and coming area. So I'm out here in Sugar Land, which is kind of the money part of Houston, Texas. There's River Oaks, right? That's where all like the oil and gas money is. I didn't want to go there. This is the new sort of part of Houston that's just got a lot of money, a lot of medical development. So it was kind of a really, really perfect place to be, especially in the area that I am. There's really not a whole lot around me that's doing what I want to do. So there are a lot of compounding pharmacies, but again, compounding was not what I wanted to make my bread and butter on. I wanted to do a hybrid model of specialty and compounding. So let's start with the stuff that you're kind of here for. If you're a big HGTV fan, then you're really gonna love this stuff. So let's start going through really from the beginning. When I'm talking about, there's dirt. Let's start with the dirt. So as you guys can kind of see here, there was a lot that kind of went into it from the beginning. I mean, you know, when it comes to construction, things like that, like I had no idea what I'm doing at all. But you had to learn it every step of the way, especially when it comes to this stuff. I mean, I'm the drug guy. I went to school. I have a doctorate. I have never used my hands, you know, when it comes to like basic labor work before. But you grow a certain affinity for it. You really start to like it after a while. Where you're like, this ain't bad. Especially with me, the big part of it is to be able to cut costs. And if you want to cut costs, you got to be able to do some stuff yourself. That's kind of just the 101 on all of this. You can either pay someone to do everything for you, or you can pay them to do quite a bit, and then whatever you can handle, you do yourself. So obviously we were able to do the data cabling and stuff ourselves. We were able to set up our whole network because, well, we're brown and we're techies, so we know how to do that kind of thing. So that kind of helped me save, I think, in the ballpark of several thousands. I don't know the exact number. I didn't really do an invoice with other places, but when you add in everything that was spent with, I was able to probably just under $10,000 save. Which in the large scheme of things, with as much money that was spent on this facility, that's kind of nothing, but you know, and every bit helps. So guys, that's the episode 1 of this series. In episodes 2 and 3, we're going to kind of show you how the progression was kind of more and more and more, and just kind of take you through the whole process all the way to kind of where we are now, which is where we'll conclude with, is we're about to open. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and check us out in the next episode, because I'm going to break down some more stuff for y'all. Thanks, guys. Bye.